Ready to see the future through the lens of the past? Welcome to Endtime Prophecy Stories. Here we dive deep into ancient mysteries and uncover what lies ahead in a world filled with uncertainty. But we can't do it without you. If you want to stay prepared and never miss a revelation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And if you find value in these stories, give this video a like. It helps us reach more truth seekers just like you. Now let's open the seal on today's story. Nephilim. Chapter 1. The Tremor in the Earth. The earth did not tremble. It shivered, like the skin of a horse trying to shake off a fly. Jared pressed his cheek against the mossy floor of the fern forest. The vegetation here was monstrous, fed by the high-pressure atmosphere and the rich soil of the plain. Ferns unfurled like the sails of ships, and dragonflies with wingspans the width of a man's reach buzzed overhead like sawmills. But Jared heard only the rhythm. Thump, thump, thump. It was a heavy, wet sound, the sound of meat and iron striking the earth with impossible force. Jared was a tracker, a man of the wild places. He had spent 40 years avoiding the cities of stone and bronze where the men of Renown gathered. He knew that when the ground shook this way, death was walking. "Create silence," he whispered to himself, a mantra of survival. He smeared more mud over his arms to mask his scent. The air was thick, humid, and heavy. In this age, density was a palpable force. Things fell hard and fast. The atmosphere pressed against the lungs, invigorating men to live for centuries, but also allowing the monsters to grow. Through the gaps in the towering horsetails, he saw it. It stood 12 feet tall, though it was considered a runt among its kind. Its skin was the color of bruised bronze, muscles coiling like pythons beneath a sheer tunic of woven chainmail. A Nephilim, the offspring of the Watchers and the daughters of men. The giant stopped. It sniffed the air, its nostrils flaring. It held a spear that looked more like a battering ram, tipped with a jagged crystal that hummed with a strange resonance. Jared's heart hammered against his ribs. He was not a warrior, he was a survivor. He shifted his weight, careful not to disturb the dry leaves. The laws of density dictated that a single slip would send a pebble clattering with enough noise to alert the titan. The giant grunted, a sound like grinding stones, and turned its gaze toward Jared's hiding spot. Jared gripped his obsidian knife, knowing it would be like using a toothpick against a boulder. Chapter 2. The City of Iron. Jared had fled the encounter by the skin of his teeth, sliding down a muddy ravine where the giant could not follow without losing its footing. Now, 2 days later, he crouched on a ridge overlooking the city of Enoch. It was a scar upon the plain. Great towers of black iron and polished stone pierced the sky. Smoke belched from furnaces where the secrets of Tubal-Cain were twisted into weapons of war. The geometry of the city was wrong, angles that hurt the eyes, vast plazas designed for strides far longer than a human's. He needed supplies. His salt was gone, and his water skin was cracking. There were human sympathizers in the slums, wretches who worshipped the giants as gods, hoping for scraps, but who would trade with an outlaw for the right price. He pulled his hood low and descended. The city smelled of sulfur, roasting meat, and blood. The streets were crowded with the terrified and the corrupt. "Make way!" a voice boomed. Jared pressed himself against a cold iron wall. A procession passed. At the center was a palanquin carried by 20 sweating men. Reclining on it was a creature of immense beauty and terror, a female Nephilim adorned in gold that would crush a normal woman. The people bowed, faces to the dirt. Jared merely lowered his head. He saw the cruelty in her eyes, a complete absence of empathy. These beings consumed the world. They took the cattle, then the crops, then the people. The earth was filled with violence because of them. He slipped into a shadowy alleyway, finding the shop of a leather worker he knew. The old man, trembling, handed him a new water skin. "You should not be here, Jared," the old man hissed. "The king, Og Khan, has ordered a worldwide census. They are marking everyone. Those who do not bear the mark are hunted for sport." "I have no king," Jared replied, tossing a small bag of uncut gems on the table. "They say judgment is coming," the old man whispered, his eyes wide. "Not from them, from the Creator." Jared paused. "The Creator has been silent for 500 years. Not to everyone. There is a man in the Gopher Wood forests, a madman. He speaks of water." Chapter 3. The Whisper of Wood. The journey to the Gopher Wood forests took weeks. The terrain was hostile. Carnivorous plants the size of tents snapped at passing prey, and the humidity was suffocating. Jared was driven by a curiosity he couldn't name. He had spent his life running away from things, from the giants, from the cities, from the violence. The idea that someone was building something, standing firm, intrigued him. As he neared the region, the sounds of the jungle changed. The screams of predators faded, replaced by a rhythmic, purposeful sound. Crack, saw, hammer. It was the sound of industry, but not the frantic, enslaved industry of the iron cities. This was steady, patient. He broke through the tree line and stopped dead. In the middle of a vast clearing sat a structure that defied logic. It was a box, massive and rectangular, built of resinous wood that gleamed in the twilight. It was not a temple. It looked like a ship, yet there was no sea for 1,000 miles. The plain here was dry, dusty, and far from the great oceans. Scaffolding surrounded the beast. Men, just a handful, were working with pitch and timber. Jared approached cautiously. A man stood at the base of the structure, reviewing a plank of wood. He was old, his beard white and long, but his arms were corded with the muscle of a lifetime of labor. His eyes were bright, unclouded by the madness that infected the rest of the world. This was Noah. "You stand staring, traveler," Noah said, not looking up. "The wood will not cut itself." "I am not a carpenter," Jared said, stepping into the light. "I am a fugitive." "Aren't we all?" Noah replied, finally looking at him. There was no judgment in his gaze, only a profound sadness mixed with resolve. "The Nephilim hunt the flesh. I am preparing for the hunting of the spirit." "They say you are mad," Jared said, "building a ship on dry land." "They say many things," Noah said, "but the Creator has spoken. The end of all flesh has come before him." Chapter 4. The Forbidden Forest. Jared did not stay at the construction site. He felt unworthy, dirty compared to the singular focus of Noah and his sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Instead, he camped in the perimeter, the Forbidden Forest as the locals called it, acting as an unseen sentry. He watched the crowds come. They came from the cities to mock. They threw stones. They laughed. "Where is your water, old man?" they jeered. "The sky has never leaked. A mist waters the plain, not rain." Jared watched Noah endure it all. The patriarch did not fight back. He simply preached. He spoke of righteousness, of a standard of living that rejected violence. He spoke of a creator who was grieved by the wickedness of man. One evening, 3 men from the city tried to set fire to the pitch reserves. Jared, utilizing the density of the air to move silently, intercepted them. He did not kill them. He tried to honor Noah's way, but he broke their resolve and their weapons, sending them fleeing back to the darkness. He returned to his campfire, shaking. Why did he protect this man? "Because," he whispered to the fire, "he believes in something other than power." The world was ruled by the strong. The Nephilim took what they wanted because they could. Noah served a master he could not see, building a vessel for a salvation that seemed impossible. Chapter 5. The Preacher of Righteousness. Weeks turned into months. The Ark was nearing completion. It was a monolith of engineering, sealed inside and out with pitch. Jared finally approached Noah again. "The giants are coming," Jared said. "Og has heard of your project. He is insulted. He believes he is the only God who should be worshipped." Noah nodded slowly. "The violence fills the cup until it overflows. We have little time." "Why?" Jared asked, the question burning in him. "Why save anyone? Look at them." He gestured toward the horizon where the mocking crowds usually gathered. "They are wicked." "And are you righteous, Jared?" Noah asked softly. Jared looked at his scarred hands. "No, I have killed. I have stolen to survive." "Grace," Noah said. "It is not about who is strong enough to survive the density of this world. It is about who trusts the Creator to lift them up. I build because I believe his warning. That is all." "He told you water would fall from the sky?" "He said the fountains of the great deep would break open, and the windows of heaven would be opened. The plain will be scrubbed clean." Jared looked at the massive structure. To believe that, one had to believe the entire natural order could be inverted. "There is room for you, Jared," Noah said. "Walk through the door." Jared hesitated. The concept was too big. He stepped back. I need to think. I will watch the road. If Og comes, I will warn you." Chapter 6. The Eye of the Storm. The atmosphere grew heavier. It wasn't just the humidity. A spiritual pressure weighed on the land. Animals began to arrive, strange, driven by an instinct that overrode their fear of man. They didn't swarm. They arrived in pairs, birds in groups of 7, orderly, guided by an unseen hand. Jared watched from the trees, stunned. Lions walking beside goats, great lizards ignoring the warmth of the sun to march up the ramp. It was a miracle. There was no other word for it. But with the miracle came the darkness. Runners from the south brought news. A legion of Nephilim was marching, not just a hunting party, but a war band. Og himself was coming to tear down the wooden anomaly that dared to challenge his supremacy. Jared ran to the Ark. "They are 2 days away," he shouted to Shem. "The door is still open," Shem urged. "Father is waiting." Jared looked at the procession of animals. He looked at the vast wooden hull. He wanted to go in, but he knew the terrain. He knew the traps of the forest. If the Nephilim arrived before the door closed, they would burn it all. "Someone has to slow them down," Jared said. "They know the main road. I know the choke points in the valley." "You cannot fight them," Shem said. "I can't beat them," Jared corrected. "But I can make them stumble." Chapter 7. The Blood Hunters. Jared moved into the Valley of Thorns, a narrow pass 5 miles south of the Ark site. The flora here was vicious, vines with barbs as long as fingers. He set his traps. He dug pits, covering them with fragile reeds. He used the density of the plain to his advantage, rigging deadfalls, massive logs suspended by ropes, waiting for a tripwire to release their crushing weight. He heard them before he saw them. The ground rhythm. Thump, thump. The war band appeared. There were 20 of them, led by a captain in black armor. They were laughing, confident in their invincibility. Jared waited until the lead giant stepped onto the false ground. Snap! The earth gave way. The giant fell 10 feet, impaling his leg on the stakes Jared had planted. The roar of pain shook the leaves off the trees. "Ambush!" the captain bellowed. Jared released the tripwire. A 2-ton log swung down from the canopy, slamming into the chest of the second giant, knocking him backward into his kin. Chaos erupted. Jared loosed arrows aimed at their eyes, the only weak points. He didn't stay to watch them hit. He moved, running through the thorns that tore at his clothes, leading them away from the ark. "Find the little insect!" the captain screamed. "Peel the flesh from his bones!" Chapter 8. The Climb. The chase lasted for hours. Jared led them up the jagged cliffs of the Serpent's Spine. The air was thinner here, but the giants had immense endurance. Jared's lungs burned. He scrambled up vertical rock faces, his fingers bleeding. He looked back. 3 of them were still following, climbing with unnatural speed. He reached a plateau. He was cornered. Behind him was a sheer drop of 1,000 feet. In front of him, the 3 Nephilim pulled themselves over the ledge. One of them grinned, exposing teeth filed to points. "Nowhere left to run, little meat." Jared backed up to the edge. The wind whipped his hair. He looked toward the north, toward the forest. He could just barely see the top of the ark in the distance. "Why do you run?" the giant asked, stepping closer. "Your god is silent. Our gods walk the earth. We are the masters of this plane." "Your mastery is a lie," Jared gasped. "You are corruption, and you are about to be washed away." The giant laughed. "Washed? By what?" Jared grabbed a loose boulder, struggling against its weight, and hurled it not at the giant, but at the unstable scree slope above them. The density of the falling rock triggered a cascade. A landslide of shale and granite poured down. The giants roared, shielding their heads. Jared dove, rolling to the very edge of the cliff, finding a small crevice to wedge himself into. The rocks hammered the plateau, sweeping 2 of the giants over the edge. Their screams faded into the abyss. Chapter 9. The Last Stand. Only one remained, the captain. He was battered, bleeding, but he still stood. He walked over to Jared, reached into the crevice, and dragged him out by his tunic. Jared dangled in the air, looking into the eyes of pure malice. "You bought your boat builder a few hours," the giant sneered. "It will not matter. I will crush you, and then I will march there and burn it." Jared couldn't breathe. His ribs were cracking under the giant's grip. Suddenly, the light changed. The sun, which had beaten down on the plain for centuries without interruption, was blotted out. The giant looked up. "What is this?" Clouds, massive, rolling black clouds, unlike the gentle mists of the morning. They boiled across the sky, turning day into night. The temperature dropped rapidly. A drop of water, cold and heavy, struck the giant's cheek, then another. "Rain!" Jared wheezed, smiling through the pain. "It's rain!" A low rumble began, not from the sky but from the deep earth. The fountains of the deep were bursting. The giant looked fearful for the first time. The ground beneath them lurched violently, a true earthquake this time. The distraction was enough. Jared drew his hidden knife and plunged it into the giant's wrist. The giant roared and dropped him. Jared hit the stone hard, shattering his leg. The giant raised his spear to finish him, but the ground split. A geyser of scalding water erupted between them, blowing the giant backward. Chapter 10. The Deluge. Jared could not move. His body was broken. He lay on the high plateau as the sky tore open. It wasn't just rain, it was a deluge. Water fell in sheets, so thick it was hard to breathe. The worldwide cataclysm had begun. He dragged himself to the edge of the cliff. Below, the valleys were already filling. The flash floods were instantaneous. He saw the fires of the distant cities being extinguished by the rushing torrents. He looked toward the gopher wood forest. The ark was there. The door was closed. The waters were rising around it, lifting the massive vessel. It bobbed, unstable at first, then found its buoyancy. Jared lay back on the wet stone. The cold was seeping into his bones. The pain was fading, replaced by a strange numbness. He was going to die. He would not be on the boat. He would not see the new world. But as the water rose to meet him on the plateau, washing over his broken legs, he felt no fear. He remembered Noah's words, "Trust the Creator." The giants were screaming in the distance, their power useless against the rising tide. Their iron cities were sinking. Their strength meant nothing against the judgment of water. Jared closed his eyes. The rain washed the blood from his face. "I believe," he whispered into the roaring storm. "I believe." He didn't need to be on the timber ship to be saved. The wood and pitch were for the remnant of the flesh, to restart the world. But his spirit had found its ark. The water overtook him, cool and final. Jared let go, drifting into the dark, carried not by the flood, but by a peace that surpassed all understanding. The end.
For more Bible-based end-time prophecy dramas to strengthen your faith and the faith of others, help spread the word by supporting the channel. Please like, subscribe, and share.